Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. I hope that you are all good. It has been a couple of weeks since I've uploaded to YouTube. The school holidays just wiped me and I wanted to make sure I spent them with my kids, so it really limited the amount of free time I had to do nail videos. But I am back and I wanted to start off, I wanted to ease myself in with a simple video. So we're going to be doing just the one nail acrylic design. And as you can see, I'm using the Young Nails acrylic system today. So I have their Cover Pink and their Speed Clear, and we're going to just be creating a autumnal glitter fade. This gorgeous glitter is from Charlie's Nail Art, but off the top of my head I can't remember what it's called, so I will leave it in the description box below. These little leaves, I have had these absolutely years. A little pot has lasted me forever and I can't remember where I got those from. And also today I'm going to be using the Young Nails Artistic Sculptor brush. I'm really loving this brush at the moment. When I first got it, I did find that I did think that I would find it too small, because it's like a size 8, I think, an 8 to 10, and I've been used to using a size 14, but I really love this brush, so I thought I would give it a little shout out today. But I'm coming in with the Young Nails Cover Pink and I'm popping this down at the cuticle area, and I've left everything in the video in real time so you can see I work quite slowly. And at first I popped down quite a thin medium to wet bead of this acrylic, and I didn't like that it didn't fully cover my natural nail bed. I had used it a little bit too wet, so it's a little bit sheer. So I'm going to come in over the top with a better consistency bead. I haven't used the Young Nail system very much, so I am still getting to grips with the ratio of it, but it is such a lovely acrylic to work with. I do really love this Cover Pink, but you just need to work with it a little bit drier than what I was with that first bead of acrylic. So I'm just coming in with another bead just to build up that coverage on the natural nail bed area, because I wanted to make sure that I was covering up the imperfections that I've got on my natural nail. And then I'm just fading this down. I wasn't 100% sure whether I was going to do a full glitter fade, and I ended up not. I ended up doing a clear tip. So I wish I had worked a bit cleaner with my pink acrylic, because my clear tip would have looked a little bit cleaner. But anyway, I was just winging the design. Then you can see I've picked up a teeny tiny bead of the Speed Clear and a lot of monomer on my brush. I've kept it nice and wet, so I've picked up a nice wet bead, dipped into that raw glitter, and then I'm not wiping my brush. I'm keeping my brush full of monomer so that I'm easily able to move those glitter pieces around without the acrylic setting too quickly. I'm then also able to pick up more glitter without picking up any more acrylic, so I'm not going to be adding any additional bulk to the nail, just picking them up with my wet brush and then setting them down into that acrylic that I placed down with the first glitter pickup. And then by keeping your brush nice and wet with your monomer, you're able to move those glitter pieces around easily until you're happy with how they're all placed. And again, picking up a few more here and there, because I wanted this to ever so slightly fade onto the pink and then ever so slightly fade down into the clear tip. So I'm keeping predominantly most of that glitter in the center of the nail, just tapping and nudging everything around so it's all nice and flat. Then I'm going to clean off my brush. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take another teeny tiny bead of acrylic and place this, just kind of wash this down over that glitter so I can tap on a few of those chunky glitter leaves, sequin leaves. This way they're then got enough acrylic to hold them in place, but I'm not adding any bulk to the nail. And then here, with the downside to these little glitter leaves, I've had them ages. I think I just got them from somewhere like AliExpress or eBay, but they've not been cut properly. So some of the ones you pick up, it's like 6 leaves stuck together. So that was what happened there. I popped one down and it was just a bit too chunky, so I took that off and popped down a little bit more acrylic and went in and picked up one of the ones that had been cut better. I do need to pick up myself some new autumn nail art, but it's one of those things where I want new things, but because I don't do nails on clients, if I buy a whole pot of glitter, it lasts me forever. Like these glitter sequins I've had years, so I'm in this kind of torn mind where I want to use what I've already got because it takes up so much space, but I also want to buy new nail art. But I'm just placing this one little leaf slightly away from the glitter fade so it comes down into that clear tip and kind of just has a little spot on the nail of its own. I really love these autumnal colours. Now I did leave all of that glitter to set in place so that we can come in and encapsulate without moving anything around. And whenever I'm encapsulating over chunky glitters, I like to just wash over the nail with my wet brush, just so my clear acrylic is going to flow nicely and get into all of the grooves of those chunky glitter pieces. And because those leaves are quite chunky, I started off with quite a wet bead of acrylic so it could really get around and encapsulate those leaves in. It was a little bit too wet that I was having to wipe a lot more of it off than what I would normally do, but like I said, I am still getting to grips with the ratio of this, and I can pick up a good bead, but then sometimes when it's things like where I need a slightly drier bead or a slightly wetter bead, it's just learning the system. But I'm really loving the acrylic system. I have a lot of different brands, and I do at times use different brands on the channel, but whenever I'm doing a design, I will try and keep all of that one brand. And at the moment, I don't have any Young Nails coloured acrylics, so that was why I worked my autumn design with nail art rather than a colour. But I can't get my words out. I have got a autumn design coming up soon using CJP. So if you're looking for a full-on autumnal set, then keep your eyes out for that one. I'm really loving that my Instagram has just been flooded with autumn nails, as it's my favorite time of the year for both, just because I love autumn, but it's also my favorite time of the year for nails as well. So here I just come in with my cuticle bead. I didn't need to build up that cuticle or apex area too much because the Cover Pink is a strength powder, so that has built up some of the strength and structure. But of course I did need to encapsulate in that glitter and build up my apex a little bit. And you can see here as well, the nail has a little bit of a dip in there. So I'm just coming in with another small bead of clear acrylic and just building up the thickness of that nail. You do need to make sure that all of your glitter is fully encapsulated, and of course you are building up your strength and structure of the nail. I'm just blending that out, and then I do think I come in with another small bead at the very tip of the nail, as the tip was looking very thin. And I'm not keeping this design on, it was just for content on my channel, but I wanted to make sure I did build up the tip a little bit more. As you see there, I dropped my bead, so I just picked it up to move it out of the way, and then I'm going to take a new bead, draining the back of that a little bit, just because I only want to place this down on the very tip of the nail. So I wanted it to be a little bit of a drier consistency, and then I'm just going to blend it back into the previous bead of acrylic, keeping my sidewalls and my application as neat as possible. However, it was a little bit off as I haven't done any acrylic nails in a couple of weeks. Then I'm going to leave this to fully set before coming in and filing. So for this design, I just used my Young Nails 150 grit file, and I'm starting off by filing my sidewalls, just getting off some of that acrylic that went over the edges, not massively creating the shape. I'm just sort of fixing up the shape a little bit. I prefer to debulk the nail a little bit and then do my shaping, and then I'll sometimes come back and do a little bit more refining. So that's what I'm doing now. I'm going to come over the entire nail. I like to come up one side, go around the apex, and then down the other side, always looking and paying more attention to anywhere that you've applied your acrylic to a bit bulky, if that makes sense. I'm trying to make sure that I'm not taking down too much of the apex, but my sidewalls were a little bit bulky, so I'm removing that excess acrylic here. And then I'm just going over all of the nail and checking it from all angles to make sure that I'm happy with the overall shape of the nail. My acrylic application was a little bit off, but it wasn't too bad. Like, I haven't got a too thick or bulky nail, so I haven't got too much filing to do. It is more just a little bit refining. If I have got a lot of filing to do, then I will usually switch and use my e-file. So here there was just like this particular side was uneven compared to the other side, so I'm fixing that up with my file, then coming over the surface, just making sure everything is all nice and smooth, and then I'm going to come in and shape the nail. So I'm keeping with the shape that I'd applied down with the tip anyway, so again there's minimal shaping to do, just making sure that everything is nice and crisp. In all honesty, I probably could have spent a little bit more time shaping, because when I looked back at the video and I was looking at the nail, I wasn't 100% happy with my shaping. But it was just a design to get out, because I've had that little bit of a gap from YouTube, and then I always find it hard throwing myself back in to getting content up on my channel and getting consistent. So I'm just easing myself in basically. I do upload weekly to the Kiki London channel, so if you do miss my content, you are welcome to check that out over on the Kiki London YouTube. Just pop in Kiki London, and over there it's all gel polish and builder gel nails. Once I have finished and I'm finally happy with the filing, I'm going to give the nail a good scrub. So I'm just using a scrubby brush here just to get rid of that dust so I can see the nail a little bit more clearly. And then I do like to buff over the surface of the nail as well. Now I'm going to be coming in with a gel top coat, so I don't want to over buff the nail because you do still want your gel to be able to adhere to the nail. So I'm taking my Young Nails buffer and I'm just going to go over the entire nail. Kind of don't have a routine, I just go over the entire nail, and it just basically gets out some of the scratches that are left behind from your buffer. I do find that this step can be a little bit optional because sometimes I don't do this and I don't notice a massive difference. I think it sometimes depends more on the colors. Like if you're using a darker color, sometimes the scratches will show up from your filing in your top coat. But I do like to give the nails a little bit of a buff, so I'm just doing that. I feel like it's taking me ages because I've left it in real time. Then we're going to give the nail a scrub again and just get rid of some more of that dust, really making sure to get under the nail as well, because it's a clear tip now. We're going to be top coating underneath as well. And then I've just taken some of the Young Nails, I think it's called Swipe, you know, their prep cleanser thing. I've taken some of that, basically alcohol. You could use alcohol to do this step, and I'm just cleaned off that now to make sure I have removed all of the dust and that we're ready to come in and apply our top coat. And at this point you can see what the nail would look like if you had matte top coated it, and I quite like how the glitter and clear looks matte, but I did decide to go in with a glossy top coat. So here I have the Young Nails top coat. Now when I first got this top coat, I wasn't 100% sure on it because it is a little bit thicker than a top coat that I usually use over acrylics, but it has really grown on me. I actually really like it, and it is so shiny. It's got such a gorgeous gloss to it. I'm absolutely loving it now. I just was a little bit not sure at first but it's grown on me. It's just a little bit thicker consistency to the top coats that I usually use over acrylics, but it's not like a rubber top coat, if that makes sense. So I'm just evening it out, and you can see here that it's that little bit thicker, but it gives off the most gorgeous glass-like shine. So I'm just coming over the entire surface of the nail, and then I'm going to come underneath the tip just where it's clear. So I'm not going all the way down the tip. I'm just coming in over this clear area because it's just going to help with the clarity. And then I'm going to pop this in my LED lamp and cure that for 60 seconds. And that is our design finished. This is what it looks like. I am going to come in and apply a little bit of cuticle oil though, just to nourish the cuticles. Now, as I said, this design was just for content because I've been trying to get some more videos recorded. I do have another one coming up, like I said, and I have natural nail gel overlay on the rest of my nails, so I'm going to try and do a transformation video on those as well. But I thought I would keep my thumb empty so I can do some one nail acrylic designs on that. So let me know if you would like to see those. I hope you've all had an amazing summer, by the way. I don't feel like I got to check in with you as much over the summer as it was just a busy one for me, but I hope you all enjoyed the sunny weather that we had here in the UK. And I know it's not autumn just yet, but I feel like the weather has turned quite autumnal quite quickly. So I hope you're all liking that as well. Let me know how you're all doing in the comments below. I hope you're all keeping safe and well. Thank you all so much for watching. Lots of love. Take care. Bye bye.